2019 Brazilian Grand Prix. The last time two drivers took the first podium finish in the same race was back in 1994 at the German Grand Prix. Of all the drivers who started on pole at the Sao Paulo circuit, less than half of them finished as a race leader. This means doing well in qualifying does not guarantee coming out on top in Brazil. To join us here today at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in Brazil, drivers here will be tackling 190-mile round trip, 71 laps of this iconic circuit. The Brazilian Grand Prix of 1994 was the last time any World Championship F1 race was won by over a lap. The circuit underwent renovations during the late 60s with the hope that modern facilities would entice the FIA to host a Formula 1 GP. After hosting a non-championship GP in 72, the attendance was over 100,000 people. Championship GP the following year. The 1973 Brazilian GP was won by none other than Emerson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the wait is finally over. We are back for Season 8 of Race Spec, and this time we are the Pacific Series Tier 2, and coming from Brazil for the first round of our championship. So, Interlagos, as we know, famous track, 306 kilometres, 15 turns. First race around here was 1973. 2 DRS zones, lots of action, the tight twisty middle sector. We should see a lot of action in the next about another hour, 36 laps. Before we get to that, we've got 18 minutes of qualifying to do. So as we see a lot of the cars coming out on their out laps, we'll follow a few of these cars because one of the major changes for Season 8 is we have gone crossplay. So we have PC, PS and Xbox all racing together in the one lobby. So fingers crossed that the servers manage to hold up. I know we've been having a few issues over the last week or so, but I still reckon we'll have really good racing over the course of the season. And for me, Scotty with you, I'll be on comms all season for Tier 2, so I'll be able to enjoy this championship battle along with you guys. So as we're on board with clean break at the moment, we'll just put his telemetry on as Clunky Boy, one of our PC drivers. He gets the first lap in on an 8.4. So as you can see on the left side of your screen, we've actually got an even mix of PC and PlayStation. So we'll see which console or PC comes out on top actually. So that's another sneaky little battle. But as we go through this quality session, we'll introduce you to some of the drivers that we have in this lineup for this season. As we ride on board with G4 Zach. He was in Tier 1 last season. But with the crossplay, he's been dropped down to Tier 2, but just because he's been relegated, he'll be one of the quicker guys in this field. So definitely one to watch in the Red Bull. Pretty sure, looking at his light, he isn't flashing, so he's on a current flyer as he comes around the final, I'd say, official corner. Because you full throttle through here, you activate DRS, and he'll come across the line. What will his opening banker be? Moves himself into P3 on an 8.6. So, top 4 currently got times, top 5 I should say, on the soft tyres. Davis and OCE Remix going out on a set of mediums. So, a lot of these drivers probably would have picked the balanced set of tyres. As we just scroll through, Ron's currently on a lap, so a lot of these drivers currently out for their first flyers. So Ron's on the medium tyre. So on the PlayStation, raced with Ron a few times. Definitely got some pace, so he'll definitely be one to watch. Oh, and he's just had a little bit of a spin there. So definitely one of the trickier parts, turn 11. You can lose the rear as you're entering the corner, or if you touch that inside curb, that can be definitely dangerous as well. He's currently going. I think that is clean break on another lap. Not burning, so we'll scroll to somebody else. Ron's going to try and do another lap. Dutchy. We'll follow Dutchy. Ooh, was that a little bit of spin? Nah. He's currently on a lap. Huey, he's currently invalidated. Aussie, he's about to come across the line. What can he do in the Mercedes? Jumps himself up into P6 on an 8.7. Very close times at the top at the moment. Only about 0.3 per second covering the top 6. Still a few guys yet to come out and do a time. And as you can sort of see with the track map in the bottom right, he's invalidated. So this track just trying to push the limits can easily invalidate your lap, and as we've seen a couple of spins already, turns 2 and 3, coming up to 3 now, should see a lot of action with the 2 DRS zones very close to each other, so you can see one pass at the end of the front straight and then doing the crisscross back. Who are we on for? Dutchy, and pretty sure he's on a flyer, so we'll right on board with him for the second half of this lap. Obviously the tight, twisty middle sector as he comes around turn 10 now. Getting a good exit out of there. Turn 11, which we saw Ron just spin moments ago. And then the final official corner, turn 12, and then he's flat out through 13, 14 and 15 up here. DRS. So a lot of these guys will be running a fair bit of downforce off the car, and he actually goes pole at the moment on an 8 flat, so 0.4 quicker. But as we can see, the PC boys taking 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. That was a really nice lap, fairly smooth through there. I'm just thinking, probably pole position. I reckon we could probably get it down to, I reckon about a 7.7. If someone puts in the lap of their life, maybe a 7.5. But as we see Jeff, he's currently on an out lap. We'll follow the other Mercedes now. Reggie and Sean, if I'm saying that correctly. Currently in the middle sector at the moment. So currently 10 minutes to go. Clunky Boy's still out on those same set of softs. He's done 4 laps on them. So maybe getting a little bit of practice in, perhaps. So, coming around turn 11 now. He has got a purple middle sector. Wants a nice exit, using as much of the exit as he can. So we'll need to keep at least 2 wheels on the track, otherwise he will invalidate. But he's right for now. As he comes up towards the finish line, and he goes P2 on an 8.1, so a really nice lap as well. So we've got currently an Aston Martin P1, Mercedes P2, and AlphaTauri looking really strong in 3rd and 4th, as the other AlphaTauri of Masticles, he goes P2, so AlphaTauri's looking really strong in the early stages. But as we scroll through a couple of the other drivers, Buster, he was in Tier 2 last season as well. He can definitely be quick. Showing good pace last season. But we'll see how he goes with I reckon the competition a lot stronger in this tier this season, so we'll see how he goes. We'll scroll down to what I haven't gone on board with yet, Prezzo. It was the Pacific PS Tier 2 champion and Open Tier 1 champion from last season. So I'd say a bit of pressure on his boots to sort of be up there again. But he's definitely got the uphill challenge this season with a lot of the boys coming over. And obviously we've got Zach, as I mentioned before, he's dropped down. So the other one we did have was Roscoe, which he hasn't currently set a lap time. Roscoe was also Tier 1 as Prezzo. I say that he's got trouble, but he goes pole position just by about 100th of a second, but that puts him in the front at the moment, and he's the first man to drop into the 7s. So starting lap from Prezzo. So Haas is the only Haas driver on the field actually today. So he'll be doing it by himself, but he's got the pit lane and the strategy call. So right on board with Banana. He's currently flashing, but Banana Cake Pie, one of the favourites in the Race Spec community. Tier 2 last season, in the same tier this season. Aussie just jumps up behind into P10. So both Mercedes, I was going to say both Mercedes, but who was that? Oh, Huey. He's just got a 7.6. So it was a really nice lap. So definitely a lot of the PC boys coming over. They're the ones showing the early pace at the moment. But we still got 36 laps of Brazil left to go. And I reckon a lot of these guys will go out for one more final run. As we can see, second down to 8th still in the pits. But just having a look at the rest of the field that I haven't mentioned before. Davis is Roscoe's teammate. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes alongside Roscoe, a very tough teammate to try and come up against this season. He has gone purple middle sector. 109 flat for his banker. He comes across the line. This looks like going to be a quick one too. He does get him into the 10 and he does find nearly a second. So currently on an 8.2. He only needs to find less than a 10th and he's up into the second row of the grid. So you can just see how tight these times are between all these guys. Maybe take Huey out of it. From Prezzo down to, I'd say, G4 Zach. There's only about 6.5 tenths in it. So if it's this close in qualifying, I can only imagine what the race is going to be. And as we can all see, is Jeff, he goes P5. That's a nice lap from Jeff. Had the pace. He did get a podium last season, Open Tier 1. And his form at the end of the season was quite good. Found his form, had a few incidents early on, but found his form, snagged that podium, and he was actually fairly quick in one lap pace as well. So maybe not as much of a surprise to see him up there in P5, but nonetheless, he's up there. Him is alongside Twitch Lily, who's currently at the rear of field at the moment on the 9.3. But Alpine, on their day, they could definitely be looking to snag a good top 5 result. As we can see, pretty much all the drivers currently coming into the pit lane. Roscoe did improve his lap. He's currently into P12. Just a couple of tenths off his teammate at the moment. So you should see him dive into pit lane. We do. Jeff will be in as well. So a lot of these guys ready to do their final runs. Sean and Remix, probably the first ones that probably want to get out a little bit early, try and get a bit of clear space, because we will see a lot of traffic, all cars on track. So they want as much space as they can. They may have double fueled for another fly if they do make a mistake on this first run, but we'll stay on board with Remix for his possible final flyer. He comes around turn 1, hugging that inside curve, wants to take as much curve as he can through 2, and then coming around 3 now. Activate DRS. So what speed does he get to? Just under 330 kilometers an hour. Taking turn 4, then turn 5, and then you got the uphill right-hander, taking as much curve as he can on both parts. And hugging it, but just taking a little bit too much curve on that one. But he's still got 3 minutes, so he can back off, recover his ERS. I think we got the Ferrari possibly on the lap behind him. We do. He does get out of the way, but it definitely was close. So, Ron Burgundy currently second last at the moment, but he's definitely got time in his lap. He comes around 11, now turn 12. Right out to the edge of the track. He comes around the final couple of corners. He activates DRS as well, hugging the inside line towards the pit lane. He crosses the line. He does find 6/10, but with how quick this field has been, he actually doesn't move up any positions. And still so close between the field. Aussie, he's currently on a lap. We'll follow him. So a lot of these drivers that are in pit lane now will have to come out now to be able to reach the line in time. Aussie, oh, and there's a car, that's an Aston Martin around, so that's either clean break or Dutchy. But we still stay on board. Hope that Alpine does get out of the way. He does. Thought he might have been able to get a sneaky toe, but not quite. But Aussie, currently an 8.5. Only needs to find half a second in his top 6. That's the inside line. He comes across the line, what do he do? He does find a 10th. A bit over a 10th, he does move up, but only into P13. He does have time for another lap if he does get fuel, save a bit of ERS. Now we got the other Ferrari, Ron. He's just about to start another one. He is. What about the Red Bull behind Zach? He's starting his final one. What about the Aston Dutchy? That he's retired in the pits, so he'll take P4 at the very least. So clean break. Rounds turn 2, round turn 3 now. Probably a little bit sketchy. Probably not as smooth as what he wanted to. I think that was, who was that? Buster, I think he moved up into the top 7. Got a couple of Alpines further down. Banana's currently up after the first sector. Prezzo, he jumps up into P2. So he managed to get find a bit more time, just not quite enough to match Huey. That's a Mercedes, I think that's Aussie. He doesn't improve. Does have a little bit of time left though. Jeff, he crosses the line. He is on his final one, so we must see the checkered flag shortly. Remix, he's starting his final one as well. Got clean break. Joined him for the first half of the lap. He's up by 2/10, and he jumps into the top 4 on an 18 flat. So Aston Martin currently P4, P5. Davis, final corner. DRS cars just letting the other cars out of the way. Davis, does he improve? He doesn't. That's the checkered flag. What about Roscoe? He's behind him. He's currently 2.5 tenths up. He does find 2/10, moves up 1 or 2 positions, but he then drops straight back because I think, who was that? I think that was Clunky Boy. He moves himself into the top 6. Huey, he goes even quicker, finds another 10.5, 7.5. So pretty much spot on the money. I thought if someone could nail their lap to 7.5, or Jeff's had a 5-place grid penalty. So what has happened there? Jeff. Yeah, weird. And I think that was his teammate as well. But I think that's all the cars are done. They are. So Huey gets first pole position of Season 8 for Pacific Series Tier 2. So, very nice lap from the Alfa Romeo driver. Just looking at his stats, I think he did race last season in the Pacific Series on PC, and he did get a podium in the last round at Saudi. So he's got some good form there. Now we're waiting on just clean break for his car to get wheeled in, and that will be done. But definitely interesting to see, and we've only got 2 PlayStation drivers in the top 10. Buster in P9, which should say that's a really good lap from him, and then Prezzo P2. So, as you can see, standings, Huey, Prezzo, they'll be your front row, Lightning, Clean Break, Dutchy, Clunky Boy, Region, Sean, Davis, Buster, Masticles rounds out our 10. Jeff, he did get P11, but he's going to drop 5 places with that collision right at the end. Banana P12, Roscoe 13th, Zach 14th, Remix 15th, and Aussie 16th. Ron Burgundy 17th, and Twitch Lily goes, and we'll start from the rear of field. I'll just look at the race director and just see who it was. It was Twitch Lily, so the 2 teammates actually got together. So that's not a great start from the the Alpine team. So it's not only, unfortunately, probably Twitch Lily unable to complete his final lap, but it's also hurt Jeff, because he's not starting 11th. He's starting from pretty much rear grid as well. As we've got a bit of cloud cover at the moment. If any drivers are in the chat, they want to give us a bit of a weather update. We did see rain on Sunday night in the Elite Series. Open Tier 1, I'm pretty sure, was dry from memory. So we had a mixture of both. Elite went to wets. It started wets, then inters, then went to dries right at the end. As the drivers make their final fuel changes, change their tyre pressures, thinking about the strategy, what tyre will they start on. As we're about to head off for the formation lap. So we've got an Alfa Romeo getting a bit of wheel spin, get a bit of heat off the tyre, same as the Haas. As we do have Jimson in as well, so he did disconnect at the start of the session. So he might be rear grid, but he's actually in the field now. So we'll have 19 on the grid. These are your tyre selections. So top 10 have all started on the medium tyre. Banana, Roscoe, Zach, Remix, they're on the hards. And then a bit of mixture, Aussie medium, Jeff hards, Burgundy's gone mediums, Twitch Liddy's gone hards, and then Jimson, he's going to want to make positions off the start on the medium tyres. So no one in the top 2 to 3 rows will have an advantage. And we'll bring up the rest of the telemetry and the lap data for you guys to see at home. So if it is a completely dry race, we're looking at about 16 to 18 laps on the mediums, maybe slightly earlier. And then about 21 to 23 lap on the hards. So that's probably your working range for these tyres. Softs, you're probably looking at about 8 to 10 laps, but your last 2 laps probably aren't going to feel great. But we may, if we do get a late safety car, some of those drivers may gamble. It's just whether tyre temps will be an issue. As we've got Jimson just coming up the hill, currently rear field, and I think, who's that? Having a bit of a spin, that's Remix. So he'll correct himself and get going. Make those hard tyres nice and toasty, which actually might help him off the start. Banana, currently the only man that's disqualified, probably just went a little bit too far off his grid, in front of his grid box, but as the final driver gets into position, Remix takes his spot. As we wait for the green flag at the back, we have 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Oh, multiple drivers getting jump starts, but Huey, he leads from the front. Prezzo, the Aston Martin and the Alpha Tauri seem to get a really good start in the second and third row. as we switch angles. Actually a fairly clean start from a lot of the guys. As we bring the stuff back on, Stewie already up to a 6/10 gap already. Prezzo just struggling off the start a little bit, and he's got Dutchy right behind him. As Dutchy goes towards the outside, will he think about the move around the outside? Very touch, nearly contact front to rear with those guys, but Prezzo's slowish start has helped Huey already get the 1 second gap that he needed to get out of DRS. So as we see the angle from the hairpin, a lot of battles. I think that's the Red Bull of Zach getting past the Ferrari, as we see a lot of guys. I think Clean Breaks has had a spin out of turn 10. So a bit of chaos towards the back, but overall been a fairly smooth go at the front. Huey sets a 15.3, not surprising considering that he had the massive gap already. And who's that? I think that is Burgundy. He's coming in because he must have damage to his front wing. And he's unfortunately had a spin, so that penalty off the start in qualifying, and then the spin, so he's in for the first lap. He's going to get a change of tyres, so he may actually have front wing damage as well. So Huey up 2/10 already on this lap. Prezzo sort of managed the battle with Dutchy, sort of started to find his rhythm just a little bit, but Dutchy's not going to give this away, and DRS will be activated in about half a lap. So he might be just taking it a bit easier and then wait till lap 3 and then start going on the attack, as Clunky Boy goes a little bit wide coming out of 10, but still just under half a second back. So we've got a little bit of a train forming. First one out of 3 seconds is Banana, but he's done well on those hard tyres, so he'll be looking to come back, and I think that is Twitch Liddy. So both Alpines having spins early on, so not the race that they want. As I quickly go down to Jimson and Remix. So Jimson, the back of the grid, he's already up to P13. He's made up 6 spots already. So the Alfa Romeo's got to be careful because he might have been vulnerable. Roscoe Arm looking possibly for the move. Sticking the nose out a little bit, just letting him know he's there. Clean break after the new set of tyres, sets fastest lap in some clean air. So he might be able to make up a bit of time, maybe do a double medium stint at the end, but I think he was the one that started on the mediums as well, so unfortunately he'll have to go to the hards. Yellow flag, that's Twitch or Jeff again spinning at turn 3. Oh, and that's a Ferrari around Lightning. Haven't said much of Lightning. He had a good qualifying, but that's an early spin for him. Managed to recover, but he's now outside the 10. So if we have a look, Banana, he's under a bit of pressure from Davis, and I think Davis is going to get him, and he gets him done before the corner. So I think Banana probably not fighting that too much, knowing that he's going long. As Zach, unfortunately, he's left the session. So hopefully he can get back in. Roscoe just trying to find a way past Remix. Couldn't quite do it, as I think both Red Bulls have lagged out, unfortunately. Scroll back. Ron and Twitch Lily having their little bit of the battle at the back. I think Ron gets that move done. Head back up to the front. Prezzo sort of steadied the gap to the leader, but Dutchy definitely not letting Prezzo get away too far. Clunky Boy still hanging in there. Sean about 2.5 seconds further back, and he's got a bit of a train behind him as well. Right on board with Masticles, because he may look for a move on Buster. Well, I didn't quite think about it, but Lightning does get past Aussie. So Lightning recovering from his early spin. Roscoe he gets past Remix. Oh, but Remix going to take the better line through 1 and 2, so who will get DRS? I think, yeah, Remix will get DRS, but he will have the outside line. Does Roscoe have the straight line speed to actually keep him? No, he can't. So Roscoe makes the move at turn 1, but loses it at turn 3. Or sorry, turn 4, I should say. As we've got a yellow flag. Oh, that's clean break. He's having another spin, and he's going to have to visit the pits once again because he has no front wing. So, Dutchy still hanging on. Clunky Boy just dropped out of that DRS. He's got a fair bit of ARS to burn, so he can sort of use it to get back within that 1 second, but he doesn't want to use too much. He's actually not burning down this straight, surprisingly. I thought he would have tried more. Aussie and Lightning have a really good battle. I think Aussie tried to make the move on Lightning, but Lightning did the switch back. These two still really close. As we come up to turn 1, Lightning just went back into his slipstream. Right on board. Who can get the better exit? About even, but Lightning will have the move done, or a quick switch back. Multiple battles happening on track. Lightning gets the position. I think Masticles gets past Buster, and Dutchy, he gets past Prezzo. So all action happening at turn 4. So does Prezzo have the pace to keep with him, or Dutchy just sort of hanging back? Aussie and Lightning going back at it once again at turn 9. Aussie with the inside. Lightning will have the better run out through the corner. It's a good battle to watch, but they're just costing themselves so much time going side by side through each corner. Aussie gets the better run, but I'll quickly jump up back into P2 because Prezzo retakes second place, and all the while this helps Shui build an even bigger margin. Nearly up to 3 seconds. And watch Dutchy. Would have had the better run coming out of 2. He does have his teammate actually for company coming out of the pits, but lets them both go. Even with the ghosted cars, doing the right thing, getting out of the way. As I think we got Aussie and Lightning. Lightning around the outside of turn 4. Now turn 5. He's got a little bit of a nose through there, but gets back into the slipstream of the Mercedes driver. So with these two battling as much as they have, Remix and Roscoe Arm, they've now joined this battle. So lots of action, and we're only 7 laps in. But as you can sort of see in the track map, fields sort of spread a little bit because of these battles. Banana currently herring on. Oh, that's a little bit wide, and I'm pretty sure that would be a warning. Nothing in the battle for P2. Gap just a little bit too big. Masticles just sort of trying to close into the Mercedes in front, but he's dragging Buster Davis and Banana along. Lightning and Aussie, they go side by side. Lightning gets the move done on the inside, but once again, Aussie's going to have the better run through turn 3. And does have ERS to burn. He activates DRS. Lightning goes super defensive. So can Aussie get the move done around the outside? He can. Does he run a little bit right? He keeps it on track. But Lightning's still there. Around turn 5, 6 now. What do you think about a cheeky dive bomb here? He doesn't, but he's right up the back. Nearly contact. Oh, bit of a snap there. That might actually let Remix in. Not quite, but I'll quickly go back up. Dutchy and Prezzo. Dutchy making a nice move at turn 12. Not a move that you usually see there. Problem is it's left improbable on the start-finish straight. Prezzo with DRS. So that he's not actually burning ERS. Does the Aston slip back in? But he can't really do that because Clunky's right there. So Prezzo, about a 3/10 gap. I don't know if that's enough. He may have to burn a little bit more. Is Dutchy burning? He's got about 20% more ARS. Same as Clunky Boy. So Prezzo got a little bit less, but manages to hold on. So Jin Sean, sort of in a race of his own at the moment. Got a bit of a gap up front and then a gap behind him. Mastical still leading this train. He was catching. I think he lost a little bit of time on that previous lap. Lightning and Aussie. So Lightning's got a bit of a gap now. Yeah, so Dutchy was possibly thinking about a move on Prezzo, attacking Prezzo, but he's got to watch his backside because Clunky. He's just pushing it just a little bit more. Oh, Remix has left the session, unfortunately. Hopefully he can get back in as we got one of the Alpines spun. So not the day for the Alpines. And same as Clean Break. Just those three just struggling at the moment. So we've got multiple battle packs. So might not see anything until we see the first set of stops, which we should see in about 5 laps, I reckon. Some people might come in a little bit early, get the undercut. But just remember that the hard tyres will be a little bit of a pain to warm up. As quickly watch Dutchy on the inside of Prezzo. Oh, a little bit of contact. I'm just wondering if that forced just a little bit of late movement in the braking zone. So I don't think Prezzo will be too happy with that because he left Dutchy a lot of room on the inside. But Prezzo will try and fight back. He won't. Oh, he actually does. But that has to go wide because of it. Make sure he doesn't spin the car, but Clunky, he's on the inside. So Clunky Boy gets the move done. So Prezzo trying to hold it around the outside of 4, goes wide. And he actually drops a spot off that too. Oh, I think that's Lightning gone again. Oh, actually, Sean, he's had a bit of a spin. And he's going to come right to this battle pack, possibly at the end. What about the Williams? Oh, nearly contact there. Williams dives up the inside. Sean's tyres will still be overheated because of his spin. So that's dropped him into P9. So Prezzo still on the back, still in the DRS train. Might be a good thing, just maybe take a bit of a breather. Just catch back up to the train. Dutchy. Actually, what this is helping with Dutchy is because his teammate Clean Break has actually got the better tyres, the newer tyres. He's actually going to help drag Dutchy along, which will help him quite a bit to defend from Clunky Boy. So I think a bit of team play there. Lightning comes in. Not sure if he's getting a front wing change or not. He actually is, so Hards will make it from here. But that does hurt him in the end. What I'll quickly do, if I can invite, because just with the EA, I'll accept that one. I think Davis is in. Yeah, that's got to be friends quest. So anyone that's struggling to join, just send me an EA friends request and I'll try and get you back in as soon as I can. So as we go back to the action, Masticles currently P5. Still holding this train behind Buster, just maybe not quite having the straight line speed to get past him. There we go, further down. Ron gets past Jimson. Again, Jimson not necessarily in the session, and unfortunately I'm unable to invite them back at the moment. But the good thing is to see that we do have no penalties from none of the drivers so far. So it'll be interesting to see if many drivers have warnings. We've only had 2 people stop at the moment. But we'll see the positions gained there. So a lot of the field moving up 3 to 5. I think that's an Aston around. Hopefully it's not Dutchy. It's not. It's his teammate. Oh, and he's just those cooked tyres. just unable to get it back. Will take out the billboard. But now Dutchy doesn't have anybody in front of him to give him DRS. So Clunky, will he think about making the move before they come in for the pit stops? He's got DRS. Prezzo, he's still within DRS as well. Get tyres back on screen. Buster about half a second behind. Still can't quite do anything. Banana doing a really good job currently in P8 on the hard tyres, so he'll go long once the top 7 do pit. We'll have a bit of a look at our race leader, Huey. Got the start that he wanted and pretty much just driven flawlessly so far. Doesn't need to push too much, as you can sort of see. He's still got 60% ERS. He's got the gap, 3.5 seconds, nothing stupid. And Assen is around again, possibly just letting other cars going. Twitch Lily, he's retired. Oh, he's retired at turn 2. At the start of turn 3, will this bring out a safety car? It would be a perfect time for the medium tyres, and it does. We have our safety car, and this works perfectly for the mediums. I was saying Banana was in a good spot. This actually may screw him a little bit. So he may have to bite the bullet and come in for a set of mediums, but they're going to really struggle to get to the end. Oh, Lightning gets a drive through. So he hasn't had the best night, Lightning, and that doesn't help his cause at all. But you see a lot of the medium drivers coming in. Actually, Roscoe was on the hard, so he's having to go to the mediums tyres about 5 laps earlier than what he would have wanted. So what do the leaders do? Surely everyone will be in. I think I'd say it was going to hurt AlphaTauri, but there's enough of a gap that Mastical shouldn't get caught behind his teammate in the pit lane. You just got to be a little bit careful that he's following the delta and he's not backing up too much, knowing that his teammate's not too far ahead. But we'll see if anybody gets a bit of a jump. But this will help the likes of Jeff, who did struggle in the early stages, and Burgundy, as we'll get him onto the back of the pack. As we do see all 4 leaders come in. Yep. Yeah, it was a fairly obvious choice, but what does Banana do? Banana's in as well. Oh, Masticles gets a 5-second time penalty speeding in pit lane. That's not what he wanted. Being under safety car in the Delta, you didn't need to rush that. Oh, Prezzo. I thought he dropped a spot, but he's right. What about Buster? Buster does get the jump. So Buster was able to get the cleaner move done. So Masticles did get hurt. Maybe the engineer mechanics just not quite ready in time. Still recovering from the earlier pit stop, but that drops him down a spot. So double whammy from Masticles. Davis in P8. Does he come out? He will come out just in front of his teammate, but his teammate will actually have the fresher tyres. Or Roscoe Arm gets a drive through for speeding under safety car. So I did say the 2 McLarens in the 10, bottom end of the 10, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case anymore. So we'll quickly bring up the pens. 2 drivers having drive-throughs for speeding under the safety car, and then Masticles speeding coming into pit lane. So those 2 drivers will want to serve their drive-throughs probably on the restarting lap. So if there's another safety car off the restart, as we all well know, safety cars breed safety cars, so they can serve that drive-through before any possible chance for another safety car. But as we have a look, Remix was actually the only one that stayed out, but he's currently not in the session. I'll see if there's any more invites. Unfortunately, there's not. So unfortunately, I can't invite anybody who's left. So looking at it, I think it's Remix. Both Red Bulls, unfortunately. Yeah, so luckily we've only lost 3 people. But Huey, that big-ish lead that he had, that's now gone. But I reckon he was just driving at about 90%. He knew he didn't have to push, but now he's going to have to. And actually, we saw Clunky Boy. Pretty sure he didn't get that move done beforehand, so he's actually made the move on Dutchy in the pit lane as well. So, Clunky Boy looking really good. I believe he was the top 5 in the PC last season in the championship. I'll have a quick look at that now because I've got it up. He did have 2 podiums for that season and was constantly in the 10 when he finished. So we'll see it in. And safety car is in this lap. I'd say it's a bit of a late call, but with the sector line being just before that corner. So fingers crossed, a lot of these drivers I should say, have got heat in these tyres, especially the hards. But when does Huey go? Does he go early? Will he go right to the line? Still weaving. He's gone now at the pit lane entrance, adjacent to it. And we've got pretty much straight. As we've just got Buster get past the ghosted car of Remix. As we have a bit of a look behind, Burgundy gets past the ghosted car of Jimson. Lightning's there too, as we've got Dutchy and Clunky Boy. Oh, a bit of contact that forces both of them wide. What about Prezzo? Can he take advantage of this? He's right behind. Not much he can do. Goes up the inside, sort of backs out of it, but Clunky goes wide. Sort of to make sure they doesn't make contact, and he goes wide again. That might be a little bit of a warning. Prezzo's still up the inside, but he's got to leave Clunky Boy room. Still side by side around turn 8 now. Does still get there. Prezzo has the inside line, brakes a lot later. Clunky Boy gets to switch back, gets a better drive out, and I think he's going to come out through the lead, but Prezzo hang up around the inside of turn 11. Side by side through turn 12. Oh, Clunky Boy gets a bit of a snap on the exit. But Prezzo holds that position. But he's got to be careful. He's got Buster right behind him. But then Masticles looking to take advantage. We'll go on board with him now. Buster got a lot of speed. Probably burning a fair bit of ARS. But that's done. We've got Roscoe and Lightning coming into the pits. So they'll be serving their drive-throughs. So what about Masticles? He'll be angry after that, speeding in pit lane. Doesn't quite get past Buster, but Remix, just the ghosted car, so Banana moves up a spot. He'll be on those fresh mediums. He'll go on the attack early. Aussie currently P10. Ridge and Sean fighting Ron Burgundy. He had his spin early on. Aussie getting past the ghosted car. And as we know, clean break is a lap behind in the Aston, so that's why he's ghosted as well. But top 4, each have broken DRS from another. Huey, he's done the exact same thing as he did at the start, 1.8 seconds. We've had a spinner. Oh, that's Burgundy. We saw him spin it at qualifying at turn 11. Unfortunately, he's done it again. So he'll get his tyres cooled down, hopefully. He wouldn't have suffered any damage from that. But he's just lost a lot of time, and he's now at the rear of the field. Buster. He was stuck behind one AlphaTauri. He's now stuck behind the other one. So does he have any better luck? Not quite. But DRS now activated. So Banana, he's closed right into this pack now. So watch him to have a strong exit out of turns 12 and turn 3. Oh, and he goes for a dive bomb. Getting his hands dirty. Oh, he manages to heading around the outside. So Banana having a lot better traction off turn 6, turn 7 to get the move. So Davis is definitely in trouble. He's struggling on this restart. Aussie now right behind him. But we'll stay with Banana because I reckon he'll try and think about a move on the AlphaTauri, or he's thinking about it. Not quite. Go on board with Buster. He's about 3/10 behind Jeff Sett's fastest lap. That is a point if he can keep it, as Buster up the inside burn a lot of ERS to get that move done, as we got the McLaren and the Mercedes going side by side. So Aussie behind Davis as they still go side by side. Bit of movement from the Mercedes driver. Janked right, thought about a dive bomb or a move up the inside, as we've got still side by side. So that's Banana and Masticles going side by side, and Banana does get the job done. Those medium tyres working a treat for him, but can they last the distance? So he had a nice drive out of turn 9 and got the move done at just before turn 10. So Banana, his next target is the other AlphaTauri. And I think this is going to be fairly simple. They've both got DRS, but with the tyre advantage, does he think about a move down at turn 1? He doesn't. Thinks better of it, but he'll try and line up and get a nice exit out of 2. Probably not the best exit that he wanted. Burning a bit more ARS, as we'll see the front on shot. So they'll stay in line. Jeff, 5-second time penalty speeding in pit lane. And he's just retired, so he's had enough. So not the best day, not the best opening round for Jeff, but he'll come back next week. As we have a look, Banana, does he pull off the same move that he did with the other AlphaTauri? Clunky Boy's fighting this more, but again, the drive out of the corners. Lightning, he's retired, and he's actually retired on track in the middle sector, so will we see another safety car? But Banana, he's getting the elbows out, and he's actually behind his teammate, so will we actually see team orders right on board? Yeah, Buster doesn't look like he's fighting that too hard. He does let his teammate by. So Buster will now be just sitting in behind him. Clunky Boy goes a little bit wide at turn 1. Lean back, trying to get his lap back. What do the two AlphaTauris do? Do they swap positions as well? Or Masticles, not quite. Probably a bit hard to see with the ghosted car. Does set the purple first sector. But again, he's got that 5 seconds that he's got to worry about. Clunky Boy. Buster got past him. Oh, and he has a spin. So was that on his own, or was there contact from his teammate? I have to wait and see, but he's now lost a couple of positions and goes down to P10. As we got Aussie and Davis, all a little bit of contact. So this is the closest battle. Coming onto the front straight. What will Aussie do? Davis does have DRS from the car in front though. And that helps Buster with Clunky Boy's spin. He'll actually have DRS from the ghosted car of Clean Break as well. But Masticles is sort of struggling. And as you can see from the rear camera, that McLaren just getting closer and closer. Oh, but the McLaren got the better drive throughout. Masticles a little bit wide, and he does go off track. So can he hang around the inside? No, he doesn't. So Davis, nice move, forced the error from Masticles, and he loses another spot to Aussie. So that run up the hill just lost momentum, and then that's cost him 2 positions. And the other Mercedes now would like to get past him as well. So the AlphaTauri was looking good at the restart, but they've just dropped off the positions, not quite having the speed and just the little moment that Clunky Boy had at turn 7 has just hurt them even more. So we can sort of see at the front, gaps opened up, but this is the Nova. Aussie's going to have to defend. Manages to hold. Masticle's in a Mercedes sandwich at the moment. As Jimson, a few cars sort of just changing with the ghost cars, just driving within each other. But Aussie's held that position. Still currently only Masticle's the only one that currently has an outstanding penalty. We still haven't seen a track limits penalty, which is great driving from all these guys. And Aussie, he's nearly broken that 1 second, so Masticle's just struggling with these hard tyres at the moment. Banana, he's got about 3 seconds currently in P4. I think those medium tyres have had the best life out of him, so it's a matter of whether or not he can keep his teammate behind, but he's still got good pace and got a gap. He's just behind. He has the ghost car of clean break, so maybe use him for a little bit of DRS if he's got more pace. Might get him closer to Prezzo and the like. But we'll go back to Aussie. He was looking from behind at Masticles, but he's managed to break the gap. And now he's right on the back of Davies. So all these guys have a really good battle a few laps prior. So round 2 now starts. Roscoe and Burgundy, they're side by side going up the hill. Roscoe just not having the ARS, so I reckon Burgundy burnt a little bit. So that's another battle to watch for. Gaps steady at the front, 1.8. It's been like that since the second lap of the restart. Aussie's looking to get the better drive out of the final corner. He hasn't really had much ARS to play with, but Davis doesn't really have any to play with either. Over the shoulder cam. Will he look on the inside for a move? He does. Davis still holds the position, but he'll be compromised coming out of 2. Around 3, but Aussie didn't exactly have the greatest exit either, and he's got no ARS to burn. Will DRS be enough? Davis doesn't cover. Oh, he hung it around the outside. He's still around the outside. Oh, got to leave him room. He does just. The McLaren pushing Aussie up the hill. But Aussie manages to hold the hill, but Davies will see that Mercedes flashing light, so he'll know that he'll be under 15% battery. We'll save a little bit through the middle sector here. But this is definitely a battle to watch, and I reckon we'll go right to the end. So Masticles isn't actually keeping pace with the other Mercedes as well, so he's got to look out for his teammate as well. So can we see something spicy with those two? Aussie, he actually had the gap, so Davis had a bit of a poor middle sector and just couldn't stay with him close enough to make a move. So around turn 3, he'll get DRS, he'll be able to close in, but the gap probably not enough. It's going to save a bit of ARS, I reckon. Currently at 40%, Aussie's at 14. Maybe stay behind him for a lap or so. We've got about 8.5 laps to go. Ron and Roscoe battling again. So for the second lap running, Roscoe takes a bit of a wider line, but Ron Burgundy will get the better exit, but weren't side by side, so Roscoe takes that position now. Can he pull away? But on 13 lap old mediums, they won't be feeling the best. The hards will still be alright. As we quickly go back up to this one. Oh, we've had a spin. Oh, that's clean break again. Unfortunately, he was a lap down early, sort of battling his way, trying to get unlapped, but just a couple of spins trying to push. So he may come in, get another set of tyres. But quickly jump back up to the teammates, actually, because they got really close into turn 1. Will they think about a swap? Like, he's got 70% ARS as well. figured that he wouldn't fight his teammate, being that Masticles has got the 5-second penalty that he will have to serve. So he'll lose it after the checkered flag. So maybe give the position early if he's got more pace. Just follow him. The clean break comes in on a set of softs. He'll get the fastest lap. Oh, clean break. Oh, clean break's had an issue coming out of the pit. And this is a safety car. So this has changed everything completely again. So this will be our time to have a quick break, but we'll quickly jump back up to the front. Who pits? Huey stays out. Dutchy, he's going for the softer tyres. Prezzo as well. Banana's in as well. Banana probably he had no choice. Buster, he's going to stay out. He's going to take the gamble. Aussie's in. Davis is in. Or both Mercedes are going to have to double stack. Same as both AlphaTauris, but I think you'd rather take it, get a new set of soft tyres. Roscoe in. Does he pull it up? He does. Ron's in as well. And the three cars at the back are ghosted, so we will only have the top two on the hard tyres. Or I think if Moore stayed out, Huey would have been more comfortable with this decision, but with Dutchy being P3 still, it's going to be very hard to keep him behind. We've seen him have pace all race long, but I don't know if he's... I think the tyre advantage may be a bit too much, but yeah, clean break. Just unfortunately, as Clunky having to wait with the double stack, might have changed his front wing as well, but he'll be rear grid. Both AlphaTauris rear grid, but they've got on fresh set of soft tyres. Oh, he would have got stuck because Masticles would have served his 5-second penalty. So that solves his issue, but has put them both down at the rear of fields. So look for them to be attacking on this restart. Clunky boy, last man around. If you can catch the back of this pack quickly enough, we may go racing at the end of the next lap. But the two at the front, Huey and Buster, they've gone the hard tyres. Can they hang out? Will the softs burn too much? Clunky boy, he gets a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So what has happened to him? He must have had a spin, come across the grass, and because he's cut the corner, he's got that 5-second penalty, which I don't think he'll be able to get removed in the pit lane because it was a track limits penalty. Alright, so we've got a couple of ghosted cars in 6 and 7, and G4 Sack in 10. So those three will be ghosted, so won't be too much of an issue, except for the restart, but none of these cars are allowed to pass before the line. So it might open the gap up in a little bit in the midfield, but Banana, probably that safety car worked out for him because I'm not sure how those medium tyres would have lasted. But Buster, currently P2. Will he play a bit of the team game for the Williams? And Dutchy, been up front all race long. He wanted to come in and box. He's only two places off the lead. As will we see the safety car in this lap. Lucky Boy's nearly at the back of the field. As well, look, the penalty still no track limits except for Clunky Boy, but wasn't your exact track limit penalty, your 3-second. Safety car is in. So we'll head up to the front of the field. So we have a 5-lap dash. So does Huey go the same time? Does he have the grip in those tyres? Buster right behind him. Dutchy will be eager to get this going. He does go. Oh, that's a poor restart from Dutchy. Prezzo up the inside already. Or does he pull it up? Doesn't want to hit the back of Buster. Buster just so slow through that corner. Affected both him and Prezzo. So we'll see the aerial now. Will Buster burn? Will he let those two through? As Prezzo, oh, there was a gap in the middle, but it couldn't go for it. But he should have the grip around the outside. Oh, he has a bit of a moment. So he loses the position to Banana. And Banana should be able to get the move done on his teammate. These two shouldn't fight. They don't. Oh, Prezzo being aggressive needs to get past Buster. And then the McLaren behind. So Buster's just falling like a rock at the moment. Just no grip on the restart. needed to come in as we've got multiple changes down the back of the field, but I'll quickly jump back up to the front because Dutchy's only 2 tenths behind. So I think it was the wrong call to stay out. Right on board, Dutchy should have a much better exit. We've had a spin, and I think that's Buster is. So unfortunately, the hard tyres just getting swallowed up. I reckon he just had the line, but we'll have a look at the leader. Huey having to defend. Dutchy does set the fastest lap. Goes around the outside, should have the grip. Huey will have the switch back, but again, just the soft tyres will stick. So Dutchy takes the lead with 4 laps to go. Huey won't let this go, but I don't know if we'll have the tyres there. And Banana currently in P3. He's looking on for a P2. Same as Prezzo. That mistake cost him. Has he thrown away a podium? So lots of close battles. Roscoe Arm having a difficult early start. He's managed to find himself into P7, so both McLarens in the top 7 as well. So good showing from the team and good recovery drive as well. Same as Ron Burgundy. We saw them battle for P11 and 12, and they're battling for P7 and 8 now. Dutchy already got the second lead that he needs to get out of DRS. Huey having to burn a lot to actually compensate for the old tyres. So Banana on board Dutchy's. He sets another fastest lap. Just the braking power and the grip that he's got. Banana. Huey's fairly decent out of turn 2 still at the moment, but we'll have DRS for the first time on this restart. Prezzo right behind. He'll be cursing that mistake trying to get around Buster. Just a little bit of a snap. Forced him wide. Let Banana through. We've seen these two go toe-to-toe before in previous seasons in Tier 2 on Tuesday nights and Tier 1 Open on Sunday nights. But Prezzo is going to have the issue. Banana just pushing Huey. Oh, was there a little bit of contact there? There may have been. So we'll leave that to the stewards if there was contact. But he's going to slide down the field now with the old hards. He's going to have a poor run through here. Just the speed. Roscoe Arm into the top 6 now. Huey's not going to let this go, but he's got absolutely no ARS. But he does have a lot of straight line speed. Will Roscoe send it down the inside and watch Ron Burgundy. He does make the move. Can Huey get the switch back? He can't, and he's got to be careful because Rom's there. Riding on board. Both moving side to side. Oh, a bit of contact there. Hangs her around the outside. Battle for P2. Prezzo gets past Banana. Quickly switch back. So Prezzo got the move done at turn 4. So Banana still in the podium position, but again, Davis, he'll be hungry for that podium. Same as Aussie, Roscoe Arm as well. So Huey, unfortunately, leading for the entire race. Probably the wrong call on that last safety car. So he may not get the result he should probably well deserve tonight. But he's shown the pace so far this season, in this race, so we should expect great things, and that win won't come too far away later on in the season. Quickly stay on board with this battle actually. So Ron Burgundy, makes the move done, and Masticles, he gets the move done as well. So 2 moves there at turn 1. And Zach gets disqualified for the failure to use the compounds, but as we know, they're both ghosted. These two still battling. So Huey had the better exit out of turn 3 and got the move back done. So these softs all a bit of a snap thinking about the dive bomb at turn 7. So he'll look to have another go. Buster, he gets past the ghosted car, unfortunately at the back. He was the other car that just the hard tyre staying out didn't quite work. But seen. Roscoe is right on the back of Aussie. Neither driver has ERS. Oh, and that is the final lap. It's gone that quickly. Dutchy does win from Prezzo from Banana. So much battling on that last restart that I completely missed. It was the final lap. So Dutchy, he takes the win from Prezzo. Banana, Davis, P4, Aussie ends up 5th. Roscoe, as you can see, the gap, half a tenth, nearly got him at the line. Probably would have sent a move down at turn 1. Huey ends up P7 after leading the majority of that race. Really unfortunate with that. Ron Burgundy takes 8th. Masticles recovers from under that last safety car. He finishes 9th. And Regent Sean, he gets the final place in the 10. But that was an exciting race throughout. Ron Burgundy gets the games driver of the day. But it's that man walking down the aisle. He'll take the top step of the podium. So Dutchy, he was top 2, top 3. Made the right call on strategy in that last safety car. Got the move done on Huey. Couldn't quite fight back. Huey could, and then having his moment later on. But it's a great start for the Aston Martin driver. So he was P4 in the championship for the PC last season. So he'll want to better that, and he's made the perfect start. And I'm pretty sure he did get fastest lap as well. Oh, he didn't. Clunky Boy got fastest lap at 9.2, so he showed the pace that he had. But Dutchy, Prezzo, Banana, they're your top 3. As we said, Davis, Aussie, Roscoe Huey, Burgundy, Masticles, Sean, round out the 10. Buster, just super unfortunate with the hard tyres at the end. And then Jimson, ghosted car. Clunky Boy does manage to get fastest lap, plus a couple of points for finishing 13th. So all finished drivers will take home points today. Remix, ghosted, left early. Clean Break and Lightning, they had issues. Jeff, Twitch Liddy, not the opening race for Alpine. And then Zach, unfortunately left the session as well early. So had about four DNFs and about 3 cars that unfortunately left the session. But overall, really good racing from a lot of the grid tonight. A lot of side-by-side action. I didn't see a lot of contact that had massive implications. And as we can see as well, no track limit penalties as well, which is really good to see. So as we wait for the timer, we will have interviews. I'm just trying to sort out how I'm going to do the comms with the PC guys, just because I stream directly off the PS5. So I'll just figure out a way to try and do that, maybe through the actual game chat itself. But I'll work through that in the next couple of weeks. But we do have, I think, our P2 getter in here, Prezzo. So we might have might have a bit of chat with you. Prezzo, P2, sort of in that battle for the entire way. Had a couple of moments throughout the race, but managed to still get on the second step of the podium. How was your race from your point of view?
Oh, yeah, it was a nice, solid race to start the season off. A few little incidents out on track, just guys not leaving room, but well, it is what it is. They're going to get taught a lesson if they do it again. But yeah, it's good to just come away with some decent points and just start the season off well, have a good base to launch from for the next few races in the season, and just, yeah, try to do what we did last season.
Yeah, exactly. And with you being last season being a 2-time champion on Sunday and Tuesday night, how are you feeling coming into this season, knowing that with the crossplay coming on board, that you were going to face some PC guys that you probably hadn't faced before, and sort of how did you feel racing them in terms of pace? As we saw, Huey pretty much nearly dominated that race, probably just unlucky with that last call under the safety car, and you and Dutchy were having a fair battle throughout that race as well.
Yeah, it was an overall good battle. Huey's bloody quick. He had a rocket ship today. Like it was quick all over the track. So that props to him having a good setup. Dutchy, he was good fun to have a battle with, like at times and all that. It's good hard racing, a few little run-ins and all that. But hey, you're gonna do that when you're racing new people. You got to test the waters and see what people race like and all that. But in respect to racing new people, I want the challenge. Actually, it's more comforting coming into a season being a champion. You know you've done stuff before, so you don't have to prove anything. You can just race and just stroll around, do whatever. No one's going to care.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously on that restart for you, just trying to get Buster, and then that little moment at turn 4 let Banana through, but you did get him back a couple of laps later. Were you sort of thinking that if you had got the move on Buster, you may have been able to get closer to Dutchy, or sort of just probably he had a bit too much pace on those softs as well?
Uh, Probably could have got him if I made that move, held him off if I made that move stick at turn 1 on the restart. But if we were in any other car than a bloody Formula car, I would have bump drafted Dutchy straight past Buster, but having got up right behind him, having to lift and just decide, it's like, all right, what do we do here? Fine, send it around the outside. And then I see the red arrow on my inside, so it's just like, oh dear, leave some space, got loose, ran wide, let Banana through, and it's just like, I've thrown this bloody podium away, good job.
Yeah.
But then Banana made his mistake, and allowed me to get closer and just straight on through. So yeah.
Yeah, well, we did have a nice helicopter shot of you sort of just getting stuck behind Buster. You had the inside line, but just sort of know where to go. So, but we did have a good view of that. Spain next week. Obviously, you'll have a bit of practice on Sunday night before your race at Tuesday. So Spain, one of your better tracks or not?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. It went well there. On this game, every time I've raced it, the car traditionally feels good. So I've just got to make sure that I actually turn up, and yeah, we should be all right. Finish somewhere around top 5, top 7. Just got to keep building results throughout the season and see what happens. It's going to be key, consistency.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, congratulations, P2, and we'll see you next week in Spain.
Thank you very much, mate, and also thank you very much for your commentary once again. It is going to be a pleasure to listen back to later on. So also absolute pleasure to have you on board commentating this tier. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we got about 10 PS and 10 PC, I'm pretty sure, so it's sort of a bit of a battle for them too.
Oh yeah. Someone actually needs to keep a tally on those standings. That would be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, congrats, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
You too. And we've got our third place getter, Banana. One of the guys that went on the alternate strategy.
Third place, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I was going to come to that. Obviously, the little bit of contact wasn't exactly sure.
Went up the hill, just got enough of the grass on the outside, and yeah, just a little tap. So we'll see.
Yeah, but other than
I shot him a message, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, fairly, I'd say, decent race from you. Obviously, started on the hard tyre. It was going along.
I was planning to pit on the hards around like lap 20 or like the second safety car period. Almost would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was good fun. It was good fun.
Yeah, because I said in comms that, yeah, probably the safety car, probably a few laps too early for you, but perfect for the mediums. But then that safety car at the end, with everyone pitting on softs, you came out exactly sort of where you were, P5, and then I figured there'd be a bit of team play with you and Buster. You obviously got Prezzo, and then
Buster let me through the first time around, and that second time with Prezzo, I think he tried to let me down on the inside, and then Prezzo also a little bit tail left, like a little bit sketchy on the exit, so wasn't the cleanest go around, but that was good.
Yeah,
Buster did well.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously unfortunate for him that those hards just didn't have the grip because he was under attack straight away, and then had a bit of a spin around turn 11, which obviously sent him to the back of the field. So, but he was showing good pace today as well. So. But yeah, Spain next week. We know Prezzo's, it's one of his better ones. One of your better ones as well.
No, I hate Spain. I absolutely hate Spain.
Yep, I think I'm in that
Not,
same boat with you.
not a fan of it. I don't think does anyone like Spain?
I don't, but obviously Prezzo and a few others do, so, but
Nah, well, we've got to make sure Prezzo doesn't finish that race then.
yep, as I said, we'll see. But yeah, there's some nice battling throughout the field, and with you as well. So, but again, congrats on we'll say current P3, and then we'll see
Current podium, yeah.
We'll see what the stewards say. But again, congrats anyway, and we'll see you next week in Spain.
Yeah. All right, good to have you, Scotty. Enjoy your night.
Thank you. All right,
Way, Lee.
so we'll pretty much wrap it up there. As I said, I'll try and figure out a way that we can talk to the PC guys if it's just through the game chat. So just making sure there isn't a message, but yeah, really good race there. Spain next week, as we know, can definitely be tricky. A few chicanes that can catch multiple drivers out. And it's definitely going to be interesting racing. And then that long straight definitely passes down at turn 1, and we can sort of see side-by-side action through 1, 2, and then the big, long, sweeping right-hander around 3. So I reckon we'll see a lot of action. And then obviously with the new circuit layout at around turn 10, so the long sweeping left-hander as well gives us a little bit more. But what we'll do now is we'll end it there. Thank you for joining us for tonight. So as we saw tonight, it's going to be an action-packed season. So can't wait for you guys to join us throughout the season. And we'll be back here next time, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time around Spain. So definitely should be an interesting one around there. So until then, we'll see you next week.